So I'm Julia Knox, and this is my shop, East Village Hats. And I'm a milliner, which means I make hats. A milliner technically is the word for a person who makes women's hats. And so actually a lot of people would refer to me as a hatter as well, because I make men's hats too with traditional hatting techniques.
High on your head like this, you would want.
So many people who walk into the store have the idea that they can't wear hats. They look at hats and they're like, I can't imagine how this would fit into my life, or I'd feel ridiculous, or I look terrible in hats. And I really enjoy changing their mind about that, finding the hat, putting it on them, and really showing them how it can change how they look and how it will complete them. I think the most important thing in a hat is to have a good line, whether that's like the total simplicity of a completely flat hat, or whether it's the way that it hits your face as it comes down and the trim creating a linear detail. When it's there, it just is, and you know it, and when it's not, it's wrong, and you know it.
Run your hand over the brim, make sure that you haven't got any bumps or lumps.
We're really seeing a lot more people getting interested in the industry again. So where you had quite a lot of older hat makers who have been around for a long time, we've got a lot of new young hat makers coming into the field. So there's been like a wave of cowboy hat makers, Western inspired hat makers. Yeah, which is interesting. And I'm seeing a lot of people in hat making class really wanting to make those traditional cowboy styles. So we're going to place it just making a traditional man's hat. We start by taking our wooden blocks, a crown and a brim. We're going to put them together and steam the felt until it's really pliable. Then it's shaped over the wooden blocks. Once it's shaped, it has to dry, which can take various amounts of time depending on the temperature and how wet you got the hat in the first place. But once it's dry, which is always usually within 24 hours, you take it off the block and it's going to hold the shape that's been blocked into it. Once that's done, it needs to be sewn. A sweatband needs to go inside, the brim needs to be finished, and then the crown would be shaped. So it will be shaped in steam, and then a trim is added, and the hat is basically finished.
Well, it's really cool to me that this is possible to do at home in a small space. And like,
Absolutely.
It's been really interesting to see who wants to learn to make hats. A lot of the people are just curious about how it's done. There are people who want to make it a profession and who have started with one class and have taken every class that we offer. We have a lot of regulars now who just sign up for everything that we do and come and make hats with me, maybe even every week. We've had people who are really skilled, and a lot of professionals are taking some of our more advanced classes now, which has been really good to meet some costume designers and some couturiers. I think people are finding us through friends and through word of mouth, but also obviously the internet is such a magical tool, and we've had people come in from all over the country to take classes. People come in for the weekend. And we've had even people come as far as from Argentina and from Germany. I'm really excited when my students can surprise me, and they definitely do. You know, we leave the design very open for them, and I'll help them create whatever it is that they want to create a lot of the time, particularly in the beginner classes. And it's always interesting when they can actually surprise me.
So good.
Thank you.
So good.
It's that moment when somebody who absolutely thought they couldn't wear a hat puts on that perfect hat for them, and we have that aha moment where they look at themselves and they are just right. Yeah, it's fun stuff, huh?